Imagine you could change your genes. What would you do? Would you want to be taller? Would you want to change the color of your eyes? Would you want to be better at math better? Or you may want to be stronger? We're still far from achieving these little details, but for many people, gene therapy is already a reality and is already treating many diseases. Gene therapy is now a reality for many patients suffering from cancer, spinal muscular atrophy, hemophilia, sickle cell disease, and many other conditions that are currently in clinical trials. What is gene therapy? Gene therapy aims to fix a faulty gene or replace it with a healthy gene to try to cure a disease or make the body better able to fight another disease. Probably you have also heard about the phrase cell therapy. But what is that, and what is the difference between gene therapy? On the other hand, cell therapy is the transfer of a specific cell type into a person to treat or prevent a disease. There are two ways this can be achieved. It can be in autologous cell therapy, means the cells are collected from the individual's own body. The other one is allogenic cell therapy. In this one, it means that the cells that are used come from someone else, probably a healthy donor, maybe some family member, a friend, or someone that is compatible with the patient. Even though cell therapy has been a reality since now many years, what is very exciting now is the combination of gene therapy and cell therapy. Basically what they do is that they take the cells of our patients, maybe cells that have a mutation, imagine for example blood cells, and then they modify them in the laboratory. So they apply and they change their genes or they modify certain genes and to fix or to remediate any problem that the patient has, and then they put it back into the patients to try to combat this disease. And this is the reality, for example, with CAR T cells, which is basically taking T cells, which are immune cells, which are used to, they fight against infections or even cancer, and they take these T cells and they modify them in the laboratory, so now they can target a specific type of cancer that the patient is suffering. And this actually has been quite successful, and there's a lot of research going on to try to improve this, as it could be very useful to treat many types of cancers with the patient's own immune cells. Now, one question is, what exactly is a gene and how does gene therapy works? I'm trying to simplify it to make it easy that everyone can understand. Imagine your body is like a big car factory, and inside every factory there is a book full of instructions. This book is your DNA. Each page of the book has a recipe for building something important, like a part of the car. When the factory needs to make a part, it makes a photocopy of just the page it needs. That copy is the RNA, which you probably heard of it before. The workers in that factory then use that copy page to build the specific car part, for example, like a steering wheel or an engine. Those parts are the proteins. Proteins, which can also be enzymes, are usually the parts of your cell that make most of the functions inside the cell. Proteins are what make the car, your body, run smoothly, and the whole factory, the cell, works together to get the job done. Now imagine a DNA mutation can cause major errors in production. One nucleotide or a base change can make a small change that causes a big error in the production of a specific protein. Think about wheels that now don't fit the car anymore because they are a bit bigger. This could also be caused by just a little error in the factory production, and then the wheels don't fit the car anymore. The same thing can happen in the cell, and this manifests as a disease. The question is how gene therapy works. And I don't want to go so deep in this video about how all the different ways it can be done, but you just need to imagine that you need to somehow get whatever tools you're using or the DNA you want to replace inside the cells. And this is very hard, especially if you have an organ or some part of your body. It's very hard to access just a specific area of, for example, the human body. That's why a lot of the gene therapies are currently being approved or being in clinical trials. They are done in cells that are removed from the body, for example, hematopoietic stem cells, which are the stem cells of the blood, because they're easy to take out and then you can treat them in the laboratory. To do that in a whole body or in an organ is very complicated because you will need somehow that it can get every cell. This can be done with viruses or with other vectors, which is the method of delivery. But not to complicate it too much, just imagine that if we are able to get the specific DNA or molecules inside the cells that we want to treat, then we can try to fix or reverse any disease that is caused by a genetic mutation, for example. There are a couple of real-life gene therapies that are approved. One of the most popular ones is Zolgen. Zolgen SMA or SMA is a gene therapy used to treat spinal muscular atrophy or SMA, a disease causing muscle function loss in humans. For this treatment, it actually involves just a one-time infusion of the medication into the patient. So this gene therapy works in a way that the patient receives a new healthy copy of this gene that is mutated. So now the patient can produce healthy protein of this specific gene and not suffer from this disease. There's one problem with this gene therapy, and it's its cost. This treatment costs $2.2 million in the US, making it the most expensive medication in the world. From what I've read so far, this gene therapy have been proven to be very successful and have helped a lot of patients. Of course, there have been some controversies and some even patients that have died after being treated with this medication, but the overall result seems to be very positive. So hopefully this can inspire more gene therapies to come to help and cure a lot of patients in the world. Another famous gene therapy that was approved in 2023 was Casgevy. Casgevy is a gene therapy that utilizes CRISPR technology to use for the treatment of sickle cell disease. It's a gene-modified cell therapy, also known as ex vivo gene therapy. It works by taking the patient's own blood stem cells. These are taken out, then they're brought to a laboratory, they are modified using CRISPR, and then they're given back as a one-time single-dose infusion as part of a hematopoietic blood stem cell transplant. So far, the results for this gene therapy has been excellent. For many patients that would have required weekly visits to the hospital, blood transfusions, or will have in general a very low quality of life, now are cured and now living like any other normal, healthy person. Of course, this is a very expensive therapy and still not accessible to most of the patients, but we hope that it can get cheaper and cheaper in the future, and more of these gene therapies using CRISPR and using other modern technologies can reach many patients that need it, and we can cure genetic diseases. So let me know what you think. Do you think this is promising for the future? What other options could be? What could happen? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a like. And just thank you very much for being here. Ciao, ciao.
You and me, everything that we did was wrong.